let's move on. So we have seen how Python program can take input during runtime using input statement. So because when we are executing, only this statement helps us take the input. That is why we call it runtime. And we can store it into a variable by providing command line arguments, Python, file name, and input 1, 2, and so on. We will now learn another important way to provide an input to Python script by reading data from files. And this is what you need to incorporate in your project as well. Reading data from the files or writing the data into the files. So whenever we create an expense, grocery type, milk, or whatever expense that you create, it should also be able to store in a file separately so that you can have a look at it without running your program. So first, let's talk about reading files. Built-in open function can be used to read contents from a file. So here, let's take an example. So this is a file name, reading_file.py. We are using the open function, specifying the file name, the file that we want to open, and it creates this function, actually in turn creates an object. And we are giving it a name, motivation. So now motivation is an object, okay? Let's see what does this quotation.txt contains. So this is a file that we want to read, and there's a quotation here mentioned, with every hardship there is an ease. Indeed, with every hardship there is an ease. Again, there's a reminder for you all. Also, I'm taking this as an opportunity to remind you, no matter, even if you're passing through any hardship, always remember this, that you must be given some sort of ease that other people might be craving for. Anyway, so here, open method, open function, opens the specified file and creates a file object. So open function means like you're opening the file, okay? Then based on that object, we can run multiple methods. So in this example, we are running a read method. So read function reads the entire content of the file as a single string. So here in this example, we have only 2 lines. It could contain 200 of lines. It could contain 2 paragraphs or 200 pages, whatever. The entire content will be read as a single string and will be assigned to this variable name code. Okay? There are other methods. I'll be talking about it in a while. And then we need to close the object. We need to close the file after performing our operation, after reading or writing the data. The reason why close is important is because your program might be reading the file, might open the file, reading the file. And maybe on the other side, maybe on a like a graphical user interface on your desktop, you might have opened this file, quotation.txt, with the help of an application, let's say Microsoft Word, and you are trying to add something into it while your program is reading something. So you cannot do both operations together. Either operating system will complain that you cannot save it, or it might complain that the file is open from another application, you need to close it from there, or this program might complain that this file is already open in another program. Okay, so you cannot use 2 applications together to perform read-write operation. Excuse me. So you need to close the file object after whatever you want to do, after reading or writing the data. This file, quotation.txt, here we are assuming that it is placed in the same folder, same directory where this file, reading_file.py, is placed. Okay? You have already experienced placing the files like functions.py, classes.py file in a separate directory, library, right? Here in this case, we are assuming that this file is placed in the same directory where this file is placed, reading_file.py is placed. If it is not in the same directory, you need to specify the file path here completely. So this is an example for Windows user. C is a drive, users, another directory, Hasan, another directory, and quotation.txt. So wherever it is placed, you need to specify the file path here. Okay? So Open functions can be used to read contents from a file. So most common methods are read. We have already talked about it. It returns the entire file contents as a string. There is another method called read lines. It read all lines and treat them as a separate element and create a list out of it. Okay, so read method returns one single string. Read lines method returns a list containing all lines as a separate element. Make sense? Okay, so both methods stop reading when EOF end of file is encountered. Excuse me. So EOF, anybody knows about it? What is EOF? So when you create a file, even Microsoft Word or text document, for example, you write my name is Joseph or whatever, and when you close it, any application automatically inserts EOF. There is a special character at the end of the file. No matter what application you are using, it automatically inserts it at the end. So when you try to use these methods or any application, it looks for EOF. Until it encounters EOF, it will keep reading whatever is written in the file. As soon as it hits EOF, it means that everything in the file has been read, and now we have reached to the end of file. So it will keep reading in a loop until it encounters EOF. Okay? And this is important from like your development perspective also. Maybe later in time you will be working on projects. Like when I was an undergrad student, I worked on a project where I was interested in transferring data, like image data, as a text message from one device to another device. And I came up with my own protocols that I'm sending the data, the image contents. These are nothing but values, the 1 and 0's values. I have to transfer it into another device. So I came up with an idea that I will split the image into different packets. Let's say if it contains like 500, just for the time being, just imagine that it contains 500 characters. I split that into a packet of 50. So every packet contains start and end character. Okay, so it will send a packet. So the receiving end will receive the start character first, and then it will start receiving the entire packet, and at the end it will receive END. So it will help the receiving end identify that the entire packet is received. So later on, some point in time, you might also be developing these kind of protocols. So you can do it yourself as well. Okay, so this is what I wanted to mention here. And another optionally, you can also specify the number of bytes that you want to read. So for example, I can specify read, and I can specify, let's say, 2 in this. So read, and if I specify 2, and if my file contains, let's say I have the same file here. Okay, so with every hardship, what do you think will be an output here? If I specify read and in the brackets I write 2, what do you think it should return? This is my entire content of a file. So look at it here again. We can specify number of bytes to read. So I'm specifying 2 bytes to read. So from this file, I'm reading this file, and if I specify 2 here, what do you think code as a variable would get? With every. Is that what you're saying? What about others? So every character, first of all, every character is treated as a single byte. Okay, so W corresponds to a value, certain value. If you recall that I talked about ASCII values, uppercase letter A is 65. So 65 is represented in a byte. How many of you are aware of byte? What does byte contain? 8 bits. So you might not be familiar with this term, but you might have already been using it frequently. Like, what is your memory size? You always talk about in megabytes, gigabytes, but you might not be aware. So byte means single character. Okay, it contains like 8 bits, but every single character is represented with 1 byte. So specifying 2 here would return W and I only. Okay, so there are 2 bytes. Okay, so and there is another method also, which is read line, which returns as a single line. Okay,